Hi, it's Miss Becca, and today we have with us Ori, one of our occupational therapists.
Hello.
Welcome to Hey Miss Becca, our third episode, which is going to be about clumsiness.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a parent approach me recently in the lobby,
Okay.
a parent of one actually of your clients, asking me about why her daughter is so frequently getting hurt.
All right.
So it seems like just out of nowhere, her daughter will, crash into a wall or fall out of a chair and get injured.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's surprised by it and she's sad about it. And she, sometimes will say, why am I always getting hurt? Why does this always happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a really frustrating and kind of painful thing for mom to witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine.
So we talked a little bit about her diagnoses and her sensory profile.
Mm-hmm.
And why I asked you to come and talk with us is because I have, a lot of this theoretical knowledge that I want to give everybody, but then I want you to help us know what that looks like in therapy.
Okay.
How do we actually work with it?
Yeah.
So this little girl, she's 7. She's 7.
Yep.
Has ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've noticed about her is that her sensory system is what we might call low registration, which also means like her neurological threshold is extremely high.
Yep.
Right. So for her brain to pay attention to something, the information that's coming into our brain has to be huge.
Yeah. A lot more feedback is needed.
Right. So much more. So something that mom had noticed was that if she's doing something like really intense, like skiing, she has no problem with coordination or body awareness. Like she excels at that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. But if she's doing something maybe like sitting at a table and doing a craft, maybe she's falling out of a chair, maybe she's breaking a material by accident because that's not giving her enough feedback.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you just tell me kind of like in session, what things you notice that make your brain go, aha, that's a low registration sensory profile?
So a lot of the times if I'm noticing like the tripping, kind of a little bit of clumsiness, maybe if we're going to climb up a ladder, we'll skip a step or slip a little bit. So a lot of those things, kids that like to do a lot of jumping and crashing, sometimes in session too, you'll see like we're playing catch and they'll get bumped with the ball and they don't notice.
Right.
Because it wasn't enough feedback. So stuff like that. Sometimes even auditory, if they're really into moving, they're kind of like, it looks like they're ignoring, but it's really like they're so focused and they have to pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then,
these are the kids where you're like, hey, Bobby, Bobby, can you hear me? Bobby. Yeah. Bobby! And then he's like, what? Right? Because it needs to be so intense for their brain to make that shift and start paying attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So thank you for that. We notice that a lot. Like if you have a high neurological threshold, that might pertain to many of your processing areas, right? So like maybe it's hard for you to notice something visually, or hard for you, like you were talking about, notice someone talking to you. In the same way, it can be really hard for you to notice something like positional changes.
Yep.
It can be hard for you to notice if your feet are on the ground or not on the ground.
Or how close you are to different objects, the walls, the ceiling, other people, all the things. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell a funny story. I use this a lot with my parents, and they get like an aha moment when I say, imagine that you go to the dentist and you're getting dental work. So you get Novocaine in your mouth and suddenly you can't feel your tongue. You can't feel your jaw.
Yep.
You can't feel your lips, right? And then when you go home, you might go, I'm just going to have a little something to drink, right? And you spill water all over yourself because your mouth could not feel the water. So you could not close your lips and you could not swallow. You might choke, right? You might bite yourself. So if you think about this phenomenon, it's like a low registration profile is like having Novocaine of your whole body.
Yeah.
You can't feel it. And if you can't feel it, how can you respond?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So you don't know how fast you're moving or how much force you're using. But luckily, there's a lot of things that we can do to kind of help that. It's
Yeah.
not like a life sentence. You don't have to be clumsy forever. You don't have
Right.
to be injured. You can definitely improve your safety and awareness skills. So do you want to talk a little bit about, like, in therapy, what are some ways that you help to increase that body awareness?
Yeah, so sometimes we do some introspection work to help build awareness and vocabulary of what does these feelings feel like for me and my body. We also
And
work on,
interoception just means like awareness of your
yeah,
internal bodily signals,
yeah.
like having to use the bathroom
If
or,
you're hungry, if something's hot or cold, if something's pushing on you or not, all these things. So stuff like that can help. We also work on some coping skills, such as before you do something, taking a pause and looking around the room and seeing how close am I? What's around me? Is this safe to do this now?
yeah,
Should I wait? Um, Stuff like that is really
yeah.
helpful. Um, some body mapping too
Mm-hmm.
can help. So taking that pause, that can be tricky though. Getting the pause, and
Yes, it
we
can.
gotta get there first. Get the pause and be like, okay, let's take. I like to do tell them pretend you're like being scanned,
Uh-huh.
like those rings, and it goes all the way down your body. You check each part, see how are we feeling, how much energy is there, and then being like, all right, how should we make the next step?
Yeah. If you can't go to therapy and have, a therapist like you actually working on improving these skills, there are
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of things that you can do at home and at school that can help with that body awareness
Yeah.
and decrease some of that, those accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think compression is one of the most impactful
Yeah.
strategies that we can use. So this could look like a compression shirt under your regular shirt. And you don't have to buy a fancy compression shirt. It could be like a swimming top, like a rash guard.
Yeah.
They do make compression socks, compression sleeves. I like to recommend anything that you can hide under your clothing. You can wear it all day. Nobody needs to know it's there.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is it's giving you extra input through your muscles and joints.
It's
Just
like a
through
constant hug.
a
Almost.
constant hug. Yeah, throughout your day, so that it's not going to fix anything, but it helps your brain to stay a little bit more aware throughout the day.
Yeah.
Something else that I like to recommend we do at home and at school is look for ways to, like, turn up the volume on everyday activities, right?
Yeah.
So if you're thinking that no matter what you're doing, there has to be extra input.
Right.
So whether that's like sitting on a vibrating cushion instead of a regular chair, that's like cranking up the volume, right?
Yeah. And that you can do at home and school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And plus it's fun.
Right.
And then even if it's something as mundane as like writing, if you have to, sit down and do homework, think about using a weighted pencil or putting sandpaper under your, paper that you're working on that gives you extra
or those
information.
Textured grips.
Yeah.
Those fun grips that they make. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're playing ball, to work on throwing and catching skills, instead of just using a regular playground ball, try a weighted ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Add some more input. Absolutely.
And then, Ora, you had sort of alluded to using vision as a strategy.
Yeah.
So that's something that we really like to highlight. If you are not experiencing just an innate body awareness, if your muscles and joints are not helping you out in the moment,
right.
You can certainly compensate by using your vision a little bit more carefully than maybe other people are. So just making sure you're reminding your child to stop and look first before they move. And then for school, you can use visual cues really to help you, color-coded areas.
Stickers on something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, making sure that like if you have a test, you can put a little spot, a highlighter on each question so that every question gets answered.
Right. Yeah. Right. So remembering to use those visual skills. We could actually talk about this topic for a long, long time. There's a lot to it. There are many reasons why a child might present as being very clumsy or as getting hurt a lot. This is just kind of one sort of underlying cause that we're talking about, this low registration sensory profile. But I want to make sure that everyone knows that this profile is really consistently seen with kids with ADHD, autistic individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody that has like a lower than average muscle tone or
Mm-hmm.
some hypermobility. And the reason for that really is that if you have lower tone or if you have hypermobile joints, there's less rigidity in the place where your receptors are,
Yeah.
right? So your proprioceptors, the receptors for body awareness, are located inside your muscles and joints.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're nice and tight, like an average person is, think of it like a rubber band that you're stretching nice and tight.
Yeah.
If you strum it, it makes a noise and
Mm-hmm.
you can hear it, right? But if you have a lower than average muscle tone, that rubber band is a little bit, softer. And if you are hypermobile, it's really stretched out.
You have to pull a lot harder.
That's right. So if you strum it when it's in its relaxed state, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of, the strategies and accommodations that we use to help is really like putting more information through that rubber band so that you
Right.
can still hear that
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. I recommend, if you have more questions about this, it can be very complicated and very confusing. Send us an email, give us a phone call. You can find us at the Lark Center, and we would look forward to talking with you. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Ori.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.